Hey everybody, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the next batch of mentoring that I'll be coordinating but co-creating as well, not only with whoever this resonates with and takes it forward, but other amazing practitioners who are globally acclaimed. I like to run courses alongside the general weaving in the collective consciousness and astrology so that we get the most out of it and everything's aligned with natural law and natural time. And the last year and a half, we've been aligning the beginning of the Avatar Earthkeepers program with equinoxes. And what I find is each time it takes people a while to get into the flow because we're working with people's crazy lives and also across time zones and things like that. And I'm really into assisting people to find sovereignty, but also we do have to try to make some sort of structure. So it's a little bit like herding cosmic cats at times. And I tune in and do a lot of divination as to where there are going to be gatherings which will assist people to step up, as we say, and that's often to help them to explore work that they're already growing into, or to work in a team, or to project manage something, or to be part of global earthkeeping activities, and that's really something that everybody takes part in some way. So I felt that as a little bit of information starting to come in, that it might be a good time to tell you a little bit about what's coming through for now. We've just got the new platform that we're setting up, so we're streamlining all our materials over to there, and we've got the foundational course for conscious practitioners coming up. So it feels like the next batch of people will come in one or two different ways. So people can come onto the foundational course for conscious practitioners, which begins at the end of October. And that's like that will be included, I think, in their teaching for the Avatar program, but it's like a warm up. It's making sure people have fundamental tools in place and also a manifesto that they're going to co-create and continue co-creating from the last group. That's a pledge to stepping up to higher impeccability in planetary service. And then it feels like we'll get going with, and I should say that we begin that course on the 25th of October, which in the Galactic Mind calendar is the Red Magnetic Serpent, which is the beginning of the Serpent wave spell. And the serpent in many cosmologies is the root chakra. And I have been working for 20 years with teachings around the serpent in many lineages and Kundalini energy and the importance of knowing our roots, but also working with epigenetics, DNA, and having a rooted foundational practice. And we've got loads of extra brilliant practitioners coming on board. On top of the pilot, we had amazing people, and now there are more coming on. So I'm really excited. And then, as I said, we'll get things going in January. Or people maybe who hear this message and that course has already begun, there's an option to begin in New Year, which isn't New Year at all. But the reason I feel that we'll start bringing people in, and I wouldn't normally bring people into courses in January because it's kind of like in Europe, people are hibernating and it's kind of summer holidays in the Southern Hemisphere. But next year, 2020, we have the planets are all direct in January, and there's not really planets all direct together for more than little mini interludes throughout that year. So it's a really good time to gather a bit of momentum and get people really gelling into what it is, and then to start building onto the layers. And for those people who are in the Northern Hemisphere, then the people have a really grounded practice and really sitting with the subject materials and had quite a lot of mentoring by the time we come into summer, which is usually a very productive time for us in the Northern Hemisphere doing earthkeeping. And we have got some very exciting gatherings lined up. And for those in the Southern Hemisphere or in Australia, well, it is Southern Hemisphere, but I think we're going to be doing activities late January, early February in Thailand. So that would work really well for people to come and get really deep immersion. And as well for people who've been doing the foundational course for conscious practitioners, we're going to be having like a practical add-on, which will also line up with people who want to do the accreditation on the foundational course for conscious practitioners, which is optional add-on. And yeah, so we're starting to create this little university. It's been a little bit of piloting, but now we've got accreditation status for the foundational course. And in due course, we will be letting avatars do an add-on exam or assessment to be fully accredited under these teachings and mentoring. What else? Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing some more work in Scotland next summerish. And we still have more things to do in Guatemala and Mexico. So watch this space or get in touch. We decide, it's like we all come into a shared consciousness, and that's why this course is a game changer. It's a life changer, because I'm using my maternal energy to hold space with you and to dream what's best with you for your personalized upgrade. And often, that develops along the way into what that might be. We're really supporting people, especially who are wanting to be hubs, set up hubs around the world. And I have a lot of experience with that, not just as a researcher, but as a project manager. And we're really working with that alongside the platform at the moment. And so for those of you who've been feeling like you want to set up like a spiritual center, you want to come into spiritual economics and spiritual entrepreneurialism, this is something we're really focusing on more and more through the courses. What else? Yeah, when we go into the streaming space, it's really interesting because I get ideas of places that I'm going to be called to assist in planetary service and to do earthkeeping. And what's happening is, along the way, my students who are coming into the ether are from those sorts of areas. And it's really helpful because I don't really want to travel unless it's for super high planetary service. And as a weaver and a person who's very well networked globally, I am trying to fly less, but also I am aware that I have to use my status as a weaver to build these networks with those of us on the ground and other fellow weavers. But I'm really being more judicious about when I'm invited to a country and who I'm invited by and what the conditions of that are. So I say no to a lot of things now, but what's happening is the students are also, who's coming into the field, because we're all weaving this together, is helping to create the schedule for each year. And I get little clues and then timelines. So that's what we know as of today, the 14th of September, which is a yellow crystal seed galactic activation portal day when I'm making this recording, and it feels like it's a power day, I've been told astrologically, and it's been a really good day to get a lot of things done. So I just want to plant this seed with you. The crystal is about really bringing and equalizing really high vibration energy of all the codes together, but in a stable form before number 13. And in Kabbalistic tradition, it's the temple. So yeah, it's really exciting. We're really building this new temple of knowledge. We've got mystery schools being set up in different places, and that's something that people who are on the Avatar scheme can duck in and out of as well, because we give different initiations and teachings to different students. So we've got more and more people coming on board. I feel really happy because I've got a couple of months. I've deferred a few students for a little while because it just felt like, we've got a breathing space. And so it's brilliant because there's some amazing students who are already started who you'll be meeting in January, because they'll be coming on to do the next stage of their teachings. And it's great because it gives me a chance to go and get more teachings too, because we're all constantly learning and striving to be more impeccable and to go through this process called life. And yeah, I feel really excited because I know we've got more meetings with beautiful healing centers and networks on the ground in the next couple of months. So that's going to diversify and enhance what contacts we've already got. And I will share more of that on the platform and on my own website over these months. If you would like a brochure, we're updating all the brochures, but we've got the ones that currently stand for everything we've got. There's just going to be more. There's already heaps of, there's like 20 pages of information in there, and that's not even close to what we do in terms of the quantity. We've so much to offer, but it gives you an idea of just how we pull things together. And yeah, if you're watching this and you would really like to have high quality mentoring, not only have we got the Earthkeepers, the Avatar Earthkeepers course, but we've got a slightly scaled back mentoring scheme, which hasn't got so many kind of exotic activities in different places and retreats, but I have year-long mentoring programs. I also can do coaching for periods of time and help people work through trauma and find their own, their own vibration and imprint more, and work through very many modalities and quantum and ancestral work to do that. So we have many things to offer. And yes, we're also, if people feel really, really called by this, that they know they need some tutelage and to step up in a way that Pachamama and Spirit is calling them, but they need like somebody a little bit older who's got experience of these journeys and a lot of networks, then yeah, get in touch, because we do some reductions. Everything is already super well priced. I'm not here to make loads of money, but I do have to be honoured, and so do all the teachers of the masterclasses who are elders. But we do try to assist people to come on board. So sometimes we have reductions for people if they've got the right skills and after a trial period show that they really are at the right resonance for what we're looking for. We give reductions in return for helping us build this platform. So it's win-win for people who do that, because they're developing a platform that's going to help them get their stuff out there. So yeah, this is, if I had kids, I'd be buying them trainers all the time, I guess. So this is my trainers fund, I pay it forward in education. And so that discount carries over. That's my trainer fund. And everybody benefits because our community grows. So we are really looking to scale up. In 2020, we're going to be expanding into more countries, and everything's very organic at the moment. So that's why we do want to build up a community of people who've gone through these rites of passage and done these courses and committed, because that you guys will be the people that we will promote first and foremost on the platform, because you've proven you really do care and really want it. It's not about being stuck with this brand. I mean, if you can demonstrate you've got these skills from somewhere else, brilliant. We'd still love to hear from you. But it's, I'm not into this thing about, oh, you didn't do what you have to do, you start at level 1 of our courses, or we're not going to recognize you. It's very far from that. I just want to iterate that. It's more that we have the teachings in a very reasonable dynamic way of sharing them, we can bring you fast track up through that. But if you can demonstrate that you've already done X, Y, and Z, then we wouldn't want any more work, so do get in touch. We will have different activities and tiers for different people, and I'm not an isolated practitioner on my own, far from it. So sometimes this involves referrals from myself and others, and sometimes, soon there will be other practitioners leading whole chunks of this work, because as we're sharing the work, we will have more and more mentors coming in. So it's exciting times, because, I just looked up and I've just seen a spider making a web. That's what I was just about to say. Is we are at this beautiful time, which is this challenge to become the gift of when we really find ourselves and get our way back. And there are so many of us coming together to make these hubs and platforms, and we just want to make sure that the right people who are really committed are the ones that we're showing the way to, and that communities can be safe and can go through their processes of awakening quickly and safely, and not too quickly, just that they can do it without having to sort of stall things anymore, because we're now at this point where the great quickening is happening. So yeah, everything's in its right place. That's every day I go out, I see somebody who's relevant to this journey, and I don't use phones. And it's just all coming because we've sat and we've prayed and we've co-created, and we've made the pilots and the tests, and many of us have been all doing a little bit over the years, and so many of you have, and that's why we want to make these videos. I didn't used to do videos, but it's now time to say we're here and we're waiting, and let's co-create. So please get in touch. As I say, you could do the foundational course for conscious practitioners, which would be included in your intake for January big kickoff, and there will be paperwork about how that will all work. So that would begin in October the 25th, or you could just come on to the mentoring scheme in January, and you might be asked to do the foundational course for conscious practitioners within that later in the year. So once we know when the next intake of that will be, we'll let you know. But yeah, it's really exciting, and please get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Take care, lovelies. Ciao, ciao.